Francis the Gold Belt in Leading by Example. "Gold belts up against the wall," said the instructor, Mr. Worth. Francis, fourth in a line of little kids that stretched in front of the studio's wall of mirrors, shifted a moment before taking off behind the others. She was one of the newest gold belts, and sometimes she still got confused. "All right," shouted Mr. Worth. "Left legs chambered back for sidekick. Go!" Go! Francis heard the word like a hungry cat hears the rattle of food hitting its tray. She moved her limbs, but it was crazy, confused. Which was it, she thought? Left leg, my left leg. She looked in the mirror at the other students, stretching their left legs back hard by the shins. Francis finally shifted her stance and cupped hers and heard, "Sidekick out, high as you can." Leaning all her weight on the wall, Francis raised her foot to hip level. It instantly fell to the floor. "High as you can, everyone." Mr. Worth was pacing the floor like a panther, eyes roving from leg to leg, gauging the height and strength of each kick. Francis watched as his eyes fell on her, and she pulled at the wall with both hands to hoist her dangling leg. "High as you can," said Mr. Worth. He'd stopped now in the middle of the mat, tall, calm as an oak, arms behind his back, right in front of Francis. Francis hoisted her leg, pulling with all her muscles like pirates hoist the ship's timbers. But she felt like a giant rock was rolling against her downhill. It felt bad, like she was being slowly torn limb from limb. Her eyes scanned the mirror. One girl, with her long hair swaying gracefully above the floor, held her foot so high it practically pointed to the ceiling. Francis looked around. "That boy's leg is straight out like an arrow," she thought. "He doesn't shake at all. Doesn't it hurt?" She closed her eyes. Her leg felt as crooked as a flower in the wind. She felt it wither. "And down," said Mr. Worth. Francis opened her eyes and stood bent, her hands on her knees. All the kids in the mirror looked straight as statues. Francis kept working as hard as she could during the rest of class. Sweat flowed from her forehead. She winced during the push-ups and squats. She furiously tried to make her punches and kicks fly. After the class dismissed and the students bowed out, one boy, a white belt, came over to Francis. "Hi," he said. "My name's Branson." "I'm Francis," she said. "Nice to meet you." "I just wanted to say thank you," said Branson. Francis was confused. "Thanks for what?" "I'm not the best kicker. You might have noticed," Branson said, shifting back and forth on his feet. "And you showed me what it takes to get better." Now Francis was really confused. She was probably the sloppiest kicker in class. "But what about those other kids? Their sidekicks are awesome," Francis said. "They're good," Branson said, "almost too good. But I can't even hold my foot up that high. Not yet." Francis looked at him. She didn't know whether to pat him on the back or smile. "I was watching you, though. You sweat, you shake," he said. "Like me. I see you try and I want to try too. Thanks again. See you tomorrow." Branson smiled and walked away.